This formula is working perfectly, but there is one major problem hiding inside it. Excel is performing same calculation again and again. And every time you need to change something, you have to find that section and update the calculation everywhere inside the formula. But there is a much cleaner way to write this. What you are seeing on the right is not a different calculation. It produces exactly same result. The difference is, instead of repeating the same logic multiple times, we calculate it once, give it a meaningful name, and reuse it whenever required. This is exactly what the let function in Excel allows us to do. And once you understand it, many of your long and confusing formulas immediately start making sense and they become much more manageable. In this video, I will show you how the let function actually works, how it removes repetitive calculations from the formulas, and how it makes formulas easier to read and modify. And most importantly, how to identify situations where let should be used instead of writing a normal formula. Toward the end, I will also show you a practical formula where let function can make a major difference. Let's begin with the problem it is designed to solve. Let is especially useful in 4 situations when the same calculation is appearing multiple times inside one formula. When a formula contains several logical stages, when meaningful names can make the formula easier to understand and read, and when the formula probably needs to be modified in the future. However, let is not required in every formula. For a simple sum function or a multiplication or a calculation used only once, adding several names may make the formula longer without providing a real benefit. The goal is not to use the newest function everywhere. The goal is to make your formulas clearer and easier to maintain. I am having some units which I have sold at this price and 5% is the discount. Normally, what would be the gross sale? The gross sale would be whatever units you have sold multiplied with whatever is the price at which you have sold. That's my gross sales. But what about net sales? Net sales would be that I need to multiply it, whatever value comes, I need to use this 5% on that value and deduct that amount. So here, maybe I will say this multiplied by this minus, okay, this multiplied by this multiplied by 5%. That's one way to write this, and let me add some gap so that you can read the two parts. Okay, some people write it gross sales multiplied by 1 minus the discount percentage. Okay, but this is the normal formula. This is also simple currently, but you might have seen that there is some repetition happening over here. There is some repetition happening over here. Can we avoid it? Can we avoid that repetition? So that's where let function comes. Let function's role is to simplify your formula to avoid the repetitive parts in the calculations. Because currently this is getting calculated, here also it is getting calculated, so this is getting calculated twice. So how I would write it? So let's say I just need to write the gross sale. So I can say let function. Now let function says, okay, give me a name and give me the associated value for that name. Let's see over here. Give me a name and give me the associated value for that. So let's say the name is GS, gross sale. So what is gross sale? Gross sale is nothing but this cell multiplied with this cell. Okay, and I can use dollars in both these places. So that's my gross sale. And then based on this logic, here I can write what I want in the output. And I'm saying I want GS in the output. Now before providing this, GS was not coming in the drop down. Look at this. GS is one of the element when I try to type something. So now it remembers what is GS. GS is nothing but a multiplication of these two cells. It could have been any complex formula also. So when I type GS over here and close the bracket and enter, it is giving me the same result. Now you might be thinking that what is the value addition of this formula? The value addition is not yet there. I'm using a very, very simple formula so that you can relate with what it does. Clear so far? I'm saying let GS is equal to this and then just give me GS, gross sales. But now let's extend it a little more. I'm just copying this and or maybe I can write it again. Let GS, what is GS? GS is nothing but this multiplied by this cell. That's my GS and dollars available to me. Then the calculation which I am about to type next is GS gross sale plus or minus GS multiplied with my discount value and close the bracket. So earlier what I was typing B5 multiplied by B6. So this would be B5 multiplied by B6 minus B5 multiplied by B6 multiplied by B7, which is my discount rate. Okay, so this is the result which I am looking for. The ending value is the result which you get in this cell. Enter. That's one formula. That's the other formula. Everyone clear so far? What I have done? I can name a variable with any formula or any hard-coded values, and then I can again and again use that same variable rather than saying B5 multiplied by B6. Maybe I may need it 5-6 times also in some scenarios. So that's the role of that function. Now this was a very, very simple formula to make you understand what it does. Now let's get into the reality part. And if we will see that if this gets simplified or not, at least in terms of reading. So what I will do, I will first write let my sales value. So sales. So that's the name which I want to give. I can keep it sales value also, SV. Whichever way you want, you can go for that. What is that value? This value is nothing but XLOOKUP. What do I need to find? I need to find this person and I will keep dollar before the column. Okay, where can we find it? We can find it in data column and the name of data column. I'm not going there. I can go and select it over there, but that's easy for me. What would I get in return? In return, I would need data and the sales from that data. So that's my VLOOKUP and it gets closed over here. So my SV sales value is this. Now that's fine, but what do you need to do with this SV? So now the formula which I would write is, and I will press Alt Enter so that it comes in the next line in the formula bar. It's a little bit easy to read. Otherwise in continuity, we lost the track where we are. So the result would be if my SV is greater than equal to, where is that cell? 500, and I am freezing it, then the result should be B6. That's one condition. But if this is not the case, then again start with if my SV, I will copy it from here, SV is greater than A7 because that's the next line, A7, result would be B7, comma, again I am starting with if my SV is greater than or equal to A8, then result would be B8. In all other cases, there is only one condition left, that would be $B $9. And I'm closing my if condition 3 times and then let function also gets closed. Everyone okay? What I have done? This part was early XLOOKUP. I have replaced it with SV, sales value, and the definition of sales value is given to us over here. And let's see if we are able to get the same results or not. So that's the result which we are getting. Let me keep it in 2 lines. This is my one formula. That's my previous formula. Even if you just compare the characters, so let's say I'm typing something like len, which is length of formula text of this cell. How many characters? 162 characters are being utilized in formula writing. And over here, 107. But it's not about the number of text, the number of characters. It's about the clarity in understanding what is being written in the formula. Here it's so simple. How many of you understood the value of let function? I need this formula to be written. Let's see if it can do. I know it can do. Okay. I'm trying to calculate the net payable amount and I'm only available with column A and the bottom three tables related to price, discount band, and the number of units sold for any customer and the product which he is purchasing. I need the formula to calculate the net payable amount without getting into any intermediate steps. One single cell, one single formula, which is giving me how much should be the net payable amount. Please help me in column H. Just H1 would be fine for now, and then I can drag it down. Okay, let's see if it can help. What do you think? What are the chances that it will be able to help us? It will. It can make mistakes. It can do the work also. Okay. The thing which we need to be ready with, that if it is able to make mistakes or if it is able to give the result, we should be able to monitor it properly. It has written. That's the formula. Values are coming perfectly fine. So now imagine that if this was not there, this area was not there, can I validate it? Can I understand what it has done? Now, going through this last 15 minutes, at least you will be able to validate. Okay, let's see. And let me write it one more thing. Can you break the formula into multiple lines so that it's easy to read, because currently it's all continuous. So introduce line break in between so that I can read it properly. Let's see if it understands that part. So B is, what is B? Okay, it has picked the B also. So initially what I was thinking, it is doing that. It is picking the buyer also as one of the variables so that it doesn't need to refer A again and again. So buyer, then the product, then here it is calculating the units to be purchased or whatever units purchased. Product, that's the price, that's value, which is unit into price, and D is discount, and V is V multiplied by 1 minus discount. Absolutely same thing which we have done, just the names they have changed. I'm not sure if it was monitoring what we were doing in Excel, but a good job. Try it in a fresh file and then you will be able to monitor it. So I hope now you understand that how you need to use AI. First, understand the fundamental concept of how things are done, and then don't do it manually. Then let AI do it. You just verify it. But without that fundamental knowledge, you will not be able to see what is happening in the data. Like, even it is to such an extent that until a couple of months back, if my formula starts with let, I will not even look into it because I don't understand that part. Then I learned. Now it's okay. Let is nothing but defining variables. What are the variables? One by one, I will look into the lines, nothing much. Clear? So that's how you need to write. Now take one long formula from your own workbook and check whether any calculation is being repeated inside it. Try storing that calculation with let function and compare the two versions, the before and the after let function. In the comment section, share the type of formulas you would like me to simplify next. Logical functions, lookup functions, dynamic arrays, whatever it is, just put it in the comment section and I will try to bring it in upcoming videos. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe and hit the bell icon, and do not forget to share this video with your friends and colleagues. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.